Welcome to the Mellow Juke joint, where there's never a cover and no drink minimum. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm your host, Mike P. And I want to apologize to everybody who's been coming back on a regular basis. I know it's been a while for a video. Work's just been murder. We've had a lot of people out, and I just get home and I just don't have the energy to put forth what I would consider a good video. So I've switched up my schedule a little bit when it comes to doing this. See if I can actually do it, and hopefully I'll be able to continue to put a video out every week for you. Now, the last time we were together, Little Milton was on the main stage, letting us know that the blues is all right. Now, if you missed Little Milton or any other of the great blues musicians that have passed through here, you can always catch them roaming around the joint, so make sure to check them out. This week is pretty special. On the main stage, we've got the best blues harmonica player to blow on through. So please, pull up a seat and give none other than Little Walter a round of applause. Marion Walter Jacobs, who at a very young age preferred to be called Walter, was born in Marksville, Louisiana, without a birth certificate. So his date of birth is truly unknown. Most publications have it as May 1st, 1930. And in interviews, Walter is given both 1927 and 1928 as his birth year, and has always stuck with May 1st. The differences in years was most likely Walter just lying about his age to get into clubs and to sign papers. His parents, Adam Jacobs and Beatrice Levige, raised Walter on a farm in Alexandria, Louisiana. Walter had a tumultuous childhood. He would constantly get into trouble and always wanted to fight. At 8, Walter would pick up the harmonica and by listening to Sonny Boy Williamson's records, teach himself to play the blues. The bright lights of New Orleans would call on Walter, and at a tender age of 12, he quit school and with harmonica in hand, ran away from home to begin his career as a musician. Now me personally, I couldn't fathom myself at 12 years old leaving home with only a harmonica in hand. Walter would play on street corners for both money and food. As he would make enough money, he would make moves north. He would pass through Helena, Arkansas, where he would actually get to play with and learn from Sonny Boy Williamson, Memphis, Tennessee, and St. Louis, Missouri, before making the all-important stop in Chicago in 1947. Walter would take up shop on the bustling Maxwell Street, performing on street corners whenever he could. It didn't take long for him to get noticed. Local players Tampa Red, Johnny Young, Otham Brown, and Big Bill Brunsey would all search Walter out to play with them. Bernard and Red Abrams, who owned a record shop on Maxwell Street, which housed a small recording studio and the record label Ornella in the back, would pursue Walter to record. With Otham Brown and Jimmy Rogers backing him, they would cut I Just Keep Loving Her back with Otham's instrumental Ornella Blues. Walter's reputation as the best harmonica player would keep growing. Jimmy Rogers, who was impressed with Walter's chops, he went on and introduced him to Muddy Waters. Muddy couldn't believe his ears. He didn't even have to think about it. He asked Walter to join his road band. The band consisted of Jimmy Rogers, Babyface Leroy, and now Little Walter. They would get the reputation of popping into clubs on the south side of Chicago and take over the stage from whomever was booked and cut their heads, which was slang of the day, meaning they showed them up and kicked them out. Eventually, they'd become known as the Headhunters. Rolling with Muddy would provide Walter with many recording opportunities as a side musician. He would show up on Sunnyland Slim and Muddy Waters' record Blue Baby and I Want My Baby for the local Tempo label in 1949. In 1950, Walter would show up on 2 Babyface Leroy Trio records for the short-lived Parkway label. The Little Walter Trio would also release Just Keep Lovin' Her and Moonshine Blues on Parkway, and Muscadine Blues and Bad Actin' Woman for Parkway's parent company, Regal Records. Walter would also get to enter the recording studio of Chess Records. Both Jimmy and Muddy signed with Chess in 1950. Through 1952, Walter would appear on Jimmy Rogers' blues hit That's Alright, and would also appear on the records of Johnny Shines, Eddie Ware, Muddy Waters, and Floyd Jones. Walter would finally get to cut his own records in May of 1952 when he signed a contract with the Chess subsidiary Checker. His first record, Juke, an instrumental backed with Can't Hold Out Much Longer, was released in August of 1952. Juke would fly to number 1 on the R&B chart, solidifying Walter as the best harmonica player in the world. Walter was out on the road and had no idea about the success of his record. Walter and his band were in the bar when the song came up on the jukebox. Walter was so excited about the song, he up and left the band and rushed back to Chicago. Back in Chicago, it turned out that Junior Wells, the harmonica player for the Four Aces, left the group to take Walter's place in Muddy's band. So Walter had no issue joining up with the remaining Aces, David and Louis Myers and Freddie Bello. Checker would name the band Little Walter and his Jukes. The former Aces didn't mind the name change. They were just excited to have someone join with the talent and knowledge that Walter possessed and that he was willing to share. Through 1955, Little Walter and his Jukes would be one of the biggest selling blues acts on the scene with 12 top 10 hits, even outdoing Muddy Waters and his band. Their biggest hits were Sad Hours, which hit number 2 on the R&B charts in November of 1902. Blues with a Feeling also hit 2 on the R&B charts in September of 1953. You're So Fine hit number 2 as well in January of 1954. And Walter's only other number 1 hit, My Babe, in January of 1955. And by the time My Babe was released, Walter had become a raging alcoholic and allowed his temper to get the best of him, more often than Dave and Freddie could take and quit the band. Walter would continue to record and release music for Checker through 1965, only reaching the top 10 3 times. By the time he released Everything Gonna Be Alright in 1959, the blues had all but faded from popularity, and Walter was wearing the scars from all the altercations he got into. He performed constantly through the 1960s, even opening for the Rolling Stones on their Great Britain leg in 1964. Sadly, Walter's temper would get the best of him. He would be involved in yet another fight, this time sustaining a blood clot that would lead to his death. On February 15, 1968, Marion Walter Jacobs passed away. Walter led the life he wanted to. For being 37 when he died, he left a legacy like no other. Walter brought the harmonica from the background right up to the foreground. He was the first to use an amp with distortion while using a microphone when playing the harmonica. He went on to record over 100 songs in his short career, becoming one of the best-selling and prolific bluesmen of all time. So let's take a moment and celebrate the great Little Walter and listen to Sad Hours. And that was Little Walter with Sad Hours. Boy, could he blow. I mean, if nobody knew that that was the harmonica, you wouldn't even be able to tell. It sounded like its own separate entity. The way that he could bend the notes and just make it wail. I mean, it almost sounded like a guitar. That's amazing. And again, I'll be adding this to my playlist. I hope you all do too. It's a shame that he lived such a short life. I mean, who knows where it could have went. But when you want to live hard, play hard, sometimes suffer the consequences. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the artist. Please, if you haven't, hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's another blues artist, doo-wop artist, somebody that you'd like me to dive into. Let me know. Y'all have a great day now. Take care.